Hello everyone, myself Sandeep Shah. You are welcome to Target IES. Today we are going to start one of the important and interesting subject of mechanical engineering, that is theory of machine. In this subject we are basically going to study how any machine, that is mechanical device, is having some internal mechanism for producing some specific kind of work. We all know that mechanical device, that is machine, is having a specific purpose, that is the machine converts one form of available mechanical energy into some specific form of output or work. So how the whole process of conversion from one form of available energy takes place into another form of useful form of work. There would be some specific type of mechanism inside that machine, and how that mechanism is formed we are going to study in this subject. And we will also study how different machines works, and what are the various principles on which any machine or any mechanical device work. So let's start this very interesting subject. Before going to further about this subject, I would like to discuss what are the various chapters in this subject which we will be studying in subsequent lectures. So the first chapter is simple mechanism or mechanism or machines. In next chapter, we will study regarding the velocity and acceleration of a particle or a body or any mechanism which is having inside that machine. And next we will study about gears and gear trains. Then we will study about governors, then flywheel, balancing, gyroscope, and we will also study mechanical vibration. So this is the whole syllabus of theory of machine subject, and this is complete sub syllabus for all the competitive exams for mechanical engineering. And that's why I have I will try to cover all these chapters. We cannot skip any single chapter because all the chapter is having its own importance, and the question might be asked from any chapter, any topic. So our strategy or our plan will be covering all the basic concept, basic theories, and we will also solve past or previous year GATE or engineering services questions. So if you are very beginner in this subject, and either you are in your college or BTech level, or either you are preparing for competitive exams like GATE, ESE, SSC, JEE, or any other competitive exams related to mechanical engineering branch, then this subject is going to be very useful for scoring good marks. Because if we talk about the weightage of this subject, particularly for GATE exam, then we can expect 5 to 15 marks of questions out of 100 from this subject itself. And similarly for engineering services examinations, the questions will vary between 15 to 30 marks out of 300 in case of prelims exams. And similarly for mains also, the number of questions asked from this subject is very high. In case of SSC JEE, 5 to 10 questions are asked out of 100 questions. So similarly for ISRO and VARC, its weightage is very high. And at the same time, if I would discuss about its importance for mechanical engineering aspects, or for the point of view of mechanical engineering, that this subject is having its own importance, because we encountered in our day-to-day life various types of machines surrounding us. So the question arises how that machine is working, what are the various internal mechanism which are helping, which are converting the input, or how we are getting the output. So let's start this interesting subject. And the first chapter is simple mechanism. The first chapter is simple mechanism. This chapter is simple mechanism. So let's talk about this chapter here as the word simple or mechanism. Mechanism is a set of a body or combination of a body or a combination of a part in any machine which is having some relative motion with respect to other parts of the body of machine, and due to that relative motion we get some constraint or predictable motion, predictable output. Predictable in the sense we are having some specific purpose or we are having a specific direction of that motion. So the mechanism, the definition of mechanism is very simple, means if there is a relative motion between the body and body are combined or parts are combined with each other in such a way that they produce some constrained or predictable motion, or we are getting some desired output, in that case that combination of a body or a part is known as mechanism. So before going to further about this subject, I would like to discuss one very basic point related to basic engineering mechanics or physics, that is the type of motion. So put the heading type of motion. After discussing type of motion, we will continue our discussion on simple mechanism. So the important point is types of motion. Why I am discussing the types of motion? Because theory of machine subject is an advanced subject of basic mechanics. So the various principle or various concept of basic engineering mechanics will be used again and again in this subject. So it is better to discuss the point which is important, that is the type of motion. We all know that there are basically two types of motions. That is, the first one is kinematic and another one is dynamics. In case of kinematic, our study is focused basically on, or we only focus our study on the motion of a body or a particle. We do not consider how the motion is occurring and what are the factors due to which the motion of a body is taking place. So our study in kinematic is focused only on the motion of a body. Or a particle. So this is the definition of a kinematic study. And in case of dynamics, we also focus our study on those factors due to which a motion of a body is taking place. Let's say if we are applying some amount of force on a body, then due to that force, if body is coming into the motion, then along with studying about the motion, we also focus our study on the factor, that is the force. We also make analysis, or we also study about the forces or magnitude of forces acting on a body. So we also focus our study on those factors due to which motion of a body is taking place. Motion of a body is occurring. So under kinematic study, we basically study about the velocity or acceleration of a body or a particle. So we can write here velocity, and velocity is written as rate of change of displacement of a body. So if s is the displacement, so we can write ds upon dt. And similarly for acceleration, we know that acceleration is written as rate of change of velocity of a body or a particle, dv upon dt. So under kinematic study, we will basically make analysis, or we will basically focus our study for the calculation of a velocity or acceleration of a body or a particle. So under dynamics, we will focus our study regarding the static and kinetic. In case of static, if a body is in a rest and the forces are acting on a body, in that case static study will be known as static at rest. We can write at rest. And in motion, and kinetic when body is in motion. So I hope this is very clear. As per the Newton's second law, we know that as per the Newton's second law, we know that the force is written as rate of change of momentum of a body, d upon dt, that is momentum is mv. We know that momentum of a body is given as mass and velocity. So we can write in another form m dv upon dt. So why I have discussed this at the initial or at the beginning of this subject? Because when we will study about the mechanism or theory of machine subject, there will be a topic, or there will be the word which will be again and again used, the kinematic and dynamic. So it is better to discuss all these two types of motion at the beginning. So now the next point which we are going to start, before studying directly about the mechanism, we will first study how the mechanism is formed and what are the various points related to mechanism formation. So the first point due to which a mechanism will be formed, that is the kinematic link. Kinematic link or element. Here the link is a single body, or it is a part of a mechanism which is having some relative motion with respect to other parts of that machine. So the word kinematic is in reference to the motion of that part or that body. So we can write it is a part of a mechanism. Sorry, it is a part of a machine which is having relative motion with respect to other parts of the machine. तो किसी बॉडी को या किसी पार्ट को हम कब काइनेमेटिक लिंक कहेंगे? जब उस बॉडी में या उस पार्ट में मोशन होगा, रिलेटिव मोशन होगा, वो बॉडी किसी दूसरे बॉडी के रिस्पेक्ट में मोशन कर रहा होगा, रिलेटिव मोशन होगा. ओके, आई थिंक दिस इज क्लियर. एंड व्हेन what are the various conditions, what are the requirement of a body to be a kinematic link? The body should be rigid and resistant. So it should be a rigid body and resistant body. What is the meaning of rigid body and resistant body? In case of rigid body, if there is a negligible deformation, under the action of external forces or external load, in that case the body is said to be a rigid body. Our main aim in this subject is to make the analysis of forces and motions, or the transmission of motion and forces. So there would be the force acting on a body. So in that case, if that body is capable of transmitting the forces and motion from one point to another point, in that case the body is said to be a resistant body. So I think it is clear what is rigid body and resistant body. जब resistant body का meaning ये हुआ कि अगर आसानी से कोई भी बॉडी किसी भी मोशन को या फोर्सेस को ट्रांसमिट कर ले रहा है विदाउट एनी फेलियर और अंडर सर्टेन कंडीशंस, अगर हम फोर्स बहुत ज्यादा इंक्रीज कर रहे हैं या फिर मैग्नीट्यूड इंक्रीज कर रहे हैं तो उस केस में बॉडी फेल हो जाएगी तो कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है। लेकिन एक सर्टेन लिमिट तक जो हमारे रिक्वायरमेंट है अगर वो फुलफिल हो रहा है तो उस केस में वो बॉडी रेजिस्टेंट बॉडी कहलाएगी। इट मीन्स द बॉडी इज कैपेबल ऑफ रेजिस्टिंग द एक्सटर्नल फोर्सेस, in that case the body is said to be a resistant body. So now the next point is the types of kinematic link. Types of kinematic link. There are various types of kinematic links are possible. We will understand or we will discuss each one by one. The first one is rigid link. Next is flexible link. And then third one is fluid link. So let's understand what is the basic difference between all these types. In case of rigid links, if we are applying the external forces or if a body is being used for the transmission of motion and forces, if there is negligible deformation or there is no deformation in that body, and in that case the body is said to be a rigid body or rigid link. So in this case, no deformation, we can write no deformation. I am not writing the whole definition. I have just explained and I have written in a very short so that you can understand. And if you want to write, then you can write when I was speaking. Okay, when I am dictating. In case of flexible link, there is a permissible deformation. Permissible deformation. In case of flexible link, there should be a deformation, there would be deformation, but up to a certain limit or up to a permissible limit. And in case of fluid link, fluid is used to form link. How the fluid is used to form a link, or how the fluid is used for the transmission of motion and forces, we will understand by taking some examples. In case of rigid link, we can have example of crank or connecting rod. And in case of flexible link, we can take example of belt drive. There is a deformation occurs or there is extension in the belt drive takes place, but the belt drive transmit power from one shaft to another shaft without any failure. In that case, that link will be known as the flexible link. So we can write belt drive. Another example is spring. Sometimes spring is also used for transmitting the forces of motion. In case of fluid link, we can take example of hydraulic press or hydraulic lift. Okay, so we can say that there are various types of links possible for the transmission of a motion of forces in any machine or in any mechanism. Now, how the fluid link is formed, I'm taking an example. Here, inside this chamber, fluid is filled, and here it is a ram on which we applied forces, and this force, due to this force, the pressure is applied on this fluid, and this pressure applied again on this platform. And if the weight is kept on this platform, then by applying lesser amount of forces, we can lift higher amount of weight just by using the fluid link. Okay, so I think it is clear to all of you. Now the next point is the types of relative motions. We are discussing about the motions. So what types of motion we are talking about, and what is the relative motions between parts of the machines or the element. So let's put the heading, that is types of relative motions. So the next point is types of relative motions. यहाँ पे रिलेटिव मोशन की बात कर रहे हैं, तो रिलेटिव मोशन मीन्स दो बॉडीज के बीच में रिलेशन होगा, दो बॉडीज के बीच में मोशन होगा. सो द वेरियस टाइप्स ऑफ रिलेटिव मोशंस about which we are going to discuss. The first one is completely constrained motion. Completely constrained motion. What happened in the case of completely constrained motion? In case of completely constrained motion, we get motion in a desired direction. So what is the meaning of desired direction? We will understand this by taking an example. First, right, we get motion in a desired direction. Desired direction. Okay, whatever be the direction of a forces, and the direction of motion is independent of the direction of forces. How? We are taking examples. I am taking a rectangular cross section or any block which is having a rectangular cross section slot inside that block. Let's suppose this is having a block. Inside this there is a rectangular slot, and inside this rectangular slot I am taking a rectangular bar, and this bar can have sliding motion. This bar can slide inside this rectangular cross section. I will make it side view so that it will be very clear to you. I hope now it is clear. Okay, this rectangular cross section bar is inside this rectangular slot. So what type of motion possible for this rectangular slot? This can slide inside this rectangular slot, and whatever be the direction of forces, the only possible motion for this rectangular bar is only its sliding motion. So we are getting a motion in a desired direction, that is its sliding motion. So this is a completely constant motion. Another example is if we replace this rectangular cross section bar by circular cross section, and in that case the circular cross section bar with collar. Okay, so we can draw another picture. Okay, now there is the possibility of uh, this circular bar that it can slide, but this collar will prevent its sliding motion. So only possible motion in this case is what? It's rotational motion. So whatever be the direction of applied force, there is the only possible motion for this circular bar is its rotational motion, because this collar is preventing its sliding motion. So the sliding motion is not possible. Okay, now the next type of motion is incompletely constrained motion. What happens in case of incompletely constrained motion? We get motion other than desired direction. Okay, we get motion other than desired direction. Other than how we will understand again this by taking one example. The example is similar to this one, but if we remove this collar, then in that case I am again making its drawing. Okay friends, in this case what is happening? The possible motion for this circular cross section rod or a bar is it can rotate inside this circular slot or circular hole, and it can also have its sliding motion. So in case of incompletely constrained motion, we are getting two possible motions. If one is desired, then another one is not a desired motion. So we are getting motion other than desired direction. The next type is successfully constrained motion. What happens in case of successfully constrained motion? In this case, we apply external forces to get motion in a desired direction. We apply external forces to get motion in a desired direction. Motion in a desired direction. How? What is happening in this case? We are applying some external forces. In this case, we are getting two possible motion. One is desired and another one is not a desired. So to get a desired motion, we will apply some external forces, and in that case, if external forces are applied to get a motion in a desired direction, so that will be known as successfully constrained motion. How? We will understand this also by taking example. I am taking example of a foot step bearing. In this case, this is a shaft. This is a vertical shaft. So this shaft is rotating in this bearing. Okay, but there is a possibility that this shaft can have movement in upward direction, but its weight of this shaft will prevent its motion in a vertical direction. So the weight is external force which is acting on this shaft. That's why we are getting only one motion, that is its rotational motion. And another example is the piston cylinder arrangement of an IC engine. This is a cylinder and I am making piston. Here, if we will take this piston cylinder arrangement, there is a chances that this cylinder, this piston can have rotational motion also, but when this piston will be connected with connecting rod and then finally with crank, and in that case its rotational motion is prevented. So this connecting rod is applying some forces, external forces, and due to which we are getting only one motion, that is its reciprocating motion. So friends, these are all about types of relative motions. So जल्दी से हम लोग रिकैप कर लेते हैं कि हम लोगों ने क्या क्या डिस्कस किया। सबसे पहले हम लोग डिस्कस किया काइनेमेटिक लिंक के बारे में। तो लिंक क्या होता है? लिंक एक सिंगल पार्ट और बॉडी होती है किसी भी मशीन और मैकेनिज्म में। तो वहां पे रिलेटिव मोशन होता है एक बॉडी का दूसरे बॉडी के रिस्पेक्ट में, और उनकी रिलेटिव मोशंस वो किसी भी लिंक के लिए क्या कंडीशंस है, कब हम किसी भी बॉडी को या किसी भी लिंक को एक काइनेमेटिक लिंक कहेंगे। तो यही है कि उसमें उनके बीच में एक रिलेटिव मोशन होना चाहिए। और दूसरा टाइप्स ऑफ लिंक, रिजिड लिंक, फ्लेक्सिबल लिंक और फ्लूइड लिंक। ओके, एंड नेक्स्ट इज वी हैव डिस्कस्ड अबाउट द टाइप्स ऑफ रिलेटिव मोशन। तो यहाँ पे कंप्लीटली कंस्ट्रेंट मोशन के केस में क्या हो रहा है कि हम जो मोशन है वो एक डिजायर्ड डायरेक्शन में हमको मिल रहा है, चाहे फोर्सेस का डायरेक्शन कुछ भी हो उस पर डिपेंड नहीं करेगा। बट इन कंप्लीटली कंस्ट्रेंट मोशन के केस में क्या हो रहा है कि हमारा जो मोशन है वो जो डिजायर्ड मोशन चाहिए उससे अलग डायरेक्शन में भी मोशन हो जा रहा है। तो और सक्सेसफुली कंस्ट्रेंट के केस में क्या हो रहा है, यहाँ पे हम एक्सटर्नल फोर्सेस अप्लाई कर रहे हैं, किस लिए कि हमें जो मोशन है वो डिजायर्ड डायरेक्शन में मिले। ओके, इट्स ऑल अबाउट द टाइप्स ऑफ relative motions. Now in next class we will take another topics, and it's all okay.